What up, dudes? Mort Buzz here, coming to you with very little sleep to remind you that we've got a Patreon and you should join it because it's a ton of fun. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our newest Patreon members. We got Kim Oakley, Bess W. What's up, Bess? And Soda Pop. And everybody's having fun over at the Discord right now, and I'm going to read you a couple of show suggestions that I think are tremendous from Shino, or Shino. I'm assuming Shino. What's up, Shino, on Discord? By the way, this is in the show suggestions part of our Discord. So Shino says, I think golf is way overdue for a rebrand. My coworkers and I were discussing how golf could save itself. None of us golf, so we are clearly the best people for the job. Yeah, good point. I mean, that's part of rebrand. It helps not to know much about the subject. My idea was that they could hire a guy who hides in the woods and will run out and try to steal your ball. If you can catch him and fight him off, you hit from wherever you reclaimed your ball, but otherwise you have to start the hole over. That's an incredible rebrand. Yeah, it's real fun. He sounds like a devilish little Puck type character. I like him a lot. I think he should have to be dressed in a golf ball costume, like a giant golf ball with big googly eyes. That's padded and stuff so you can tackle him. Danny, our community manager, says, okay, rebrand swearing, but not in a you shouldn't swear, instead say it this way, but in a way that in the UK we have so many creative ways to swear. I feel America needs to catch up. I've been teaching American English swears at another server, and I cannot get any American swears in return, as there just aren't any fun ones. Yeah, I don't know. I like the simplicity of American swears. Telling somebody to eat shit. I don't know. I just like it. It makes me laugh. But I do agree. I do love English swears, like a tea kettle full of tiddlywankers, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, and if that's not one, a teacup full of tiddlywankers, that immediately needs to be an official English swear. All right, yeah, so that's our Discord, and you get ad-free episodes when you join, and like today's episode, we might upload the Zoom video of it, stuff like that. So go join the Patreon, dudes. It's a lot of fun, and you can support the show that way. Also, enjoy this incredible episode with Naomi Ekperigin and Andy Beckerman, two of my favorite living comedians.
Rebrand! Ding! Hello, beloved consumers. I'm Ashley. That's the weirdest cadence I possibly could have done. I'm Ashley Birch.
And I'm Mort Burke.
And welcome to Rebrand, a comedy podcast where we inject new life into tired old brands, whether they be snack foods, celebrities, or religious institutions. I want no banter because I just want to introduce our guests because I love them.
Banter-free episode.
Banter-free. No jokes, no banters, straight to the business.
It's going to be the most serious episode you guys have ever done.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to banter either once you introduce us.
We're going to rebrand the SATs.
Are you going to answer our
I'm
guests?
sick of these multiple choice questions.
I can't wait. I love our guests. I'm so excited. Two of my favorite living human beings. I'm gonna say it. We've got okay. You need to listen to Andy Beckerman's Beginnings podcast. My favorite recent episode was the David Cross episode. It's the best interview with Cross I've ever heard. And then we've also got the brilliant Naomi Ekperigin on Apple TV's Mythic Quest. You may have seen. Please watch that. This season has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, some absurd score. And also go watch Naomi's. What is the Letterman show called? You just told me.
That's My Time with David Letterman on Netflix, baby.
Yeah.
Give me one more of her name because I feel like you swallowed it a little bit.
Okay, yeah, and I'll go watch Naomi Ekperigin's incredible episode of That's My Time with David Letterman. God damn it, I'm bad at this. I got no
You're
sleep last night.
so wasted.
While you're on
No sleep.
Is the problem.
While you're on Netflix, you should check out Shane Gillis's show. Special. I think Dave Chappelle has some specials too.
Yeah, you should check out a lot of them.
It's a great streaming service.
Yeah, have you guys heard of Netflix?
I'm a little familiar, but not too much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's Internet Flicks.
Yeah, it's internet
Name
flicks.
comes from. People forget.
People do.
Do you remember when you could just get discs of Mad Men and you could watch it all in a couple weeks and it was great?
Oh,
Instead
yeah.
of it being a weird slop factory.
That was the height of our democracy, I want to
transphobe.
say. That was the height of our country.
Yeah.
Kind of
Everything-
technology at its best.
Technology at its best. Absolutely.
Yeah, everything peaked with those
With those Netflix discs.
with those commentary tracks on those Mad Men's.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Do you guys want to introduce what topic we'll be rebranding today?
Well, I would actually like to first do a backstory on how we got here.
Yes, please.
Okay. Because, Andy and I mean, days in advance, we're going back and forth. We're saying, what are we rebranding? How are we setting ourselves apart from the pack?
Screaming at each other. Our couples therapy
Yes.
session this week was, what are we
We're gonna
talking
do a
about?
rebrand.
And let's just say it was the most contentious one.
Yeah, in years.
So you guys are saying our podcast almost broke you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what we're going for. We're trying to ruin marriages. We're trying to test friendships. Yes.
That's why you brought us here. Right. You said this is going to be the long con. We're just going to really see if we can bring them here, a shell of themselves. And so we came in and we were like, and at first, and like, I was like, because at first I was like, what is that rebrand? Do I have to come in with a whole plan of what the rebranding is? That's where I got in my head about it.
Naomi had charts up on the wall. It looked like one of those murder boards with the string, or like in Homeland, that first season where Carrie like stops taking her meds, and then the whole wall is just like her insane ramblings.
Yeah. I relate to her.
Right.
And then,
plus Naomi loves jazz.
And Andy, he was like, democracy. And I was like, huh?
It needs something.
And I was like, I don't know.
Are we sure? I feel like it's doing great. In this country?
It's on life support.
Thinking.
It's being intubated as we talk.
And I was like, I don't know, like, where are the funnies? Like, what can we do? And then Andy was like, no, he's like, we could do it. He's like, I trust you. I trust us. And I said, all right, Lord knows I have opinions. And then at one point I said, what if we did rebrand dogs? They say they're man's best friend, but what if I just say they're man's greatest source of debt? And then we can just talk about how our dogs take all our money. And then
Mabel's a thief.
Exactly. An energy drain. There's nothing calming about her.
For the listener, Mabel's all done.
And so then I thought, well, that's just a personal issue I'm having. And then when we came up here.
You know what, though? I'm going to say this. I don't think it's a personal issue. I think all of us go through it. And just like, parents don't talk about how like shitty their kids are really.
Yes.
Right? No one talks about how much their dogs are a drain on their disposable income.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we had to do a surgery on Cody. It was $5,000 or something.
Yeah, and I'm in the process of trying to get him a diamond pendant. I mean, a lot of the stuff just comes from I'm talking about this on stage right now. His flavor of dog food is sweet potato salmon souffle.
Oh my god!
His favorite smell is piss on the ground. Like
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
He would much rather have it be Labrador asshole flavored. He's a dog. Anytime there's one of the cats makes a sound like they're gonna puke, he gets so excited.
He's never happier. He's not happier to see us. He's not happier to get dog food. The joy in his little face when he thinks he could eat
about to have a good snack.
If we could tell you this, Mabel will eat poop out of Squee's litter box if we don't stop her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yet she turned up her nose at this, what was it, freeze-dried prescription,
Honey,
like pure
Royal
human
Canin.
food.
Royal.
I know Royal. Yep.
That's Royal Canin.
Okay, she's now on prescription food. And I'm like you more. I was like, she's turning her nose up at this food. And I said, bitch, I've seen you eat feces. Stop trying to play these games. And the way we have had to just keep pivoting to find something she'll eat that fits her nutritional needs now, her dietary needs. But look, that's not even what we said we want to rebrand.
Uh-huh.
I will say, really, really quick though, just a flash in the pan rebrand is that they should make dog treats that are like cat puke and piss flavored.
Yes.
Why are they doing that?
I would love
1,000,000%. Or like a old croissant that's been stepped on. That's I've never seen him happier than when he gets eaten one of those.
Oh yeah.
Or like it should be like a dried street muffin.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like a muffin that's been out on the ground for 2 weeks.
Wait, Mort, when you say stepped on, you don't mean like there's baby powder in it.
Wait, yeah. Well, he's so hilarious because he's like a weird magician where he'll go into a bush and then pull out half a loaf of garlic bread and shit. Like,
you're like, how the fuck?
Yeah, he one time found an entire unmolested fried chicken breast, which is
pulled it out of a bush, like it was a magic bush that granted all of his dreams. Like,
which is like me finding $500,000. Like that is unreal for him.
By the way, I love the idea of just someone moseying along eating an entire thing of garlic bread. Just like,
Yeah.
Straight out of the oven. Just chopping on it.
It was like a full focaccia. They took a couple bites and went, not for me, threw it on the sidewalk. And then I managed to like steer Cody away from it on our first walk, but that bitch remembered. Second walk, he was like, I'm going for it. Ate it and then puked in our bed at 3 a.m.
You know who eats half a loaf of garlic bread is okay. When you order a pizza, you know the box that it comes in, how there's like a normal looking guy and then an Italian stereotype who's like he's like hanging meats in the window. That guy. Yeah, that guy eats a whole loaf of garlic bread.
Yeah.
See, in my mind, it was drawn like a 1970s R. Crumb type thing with like the long legs, like they're like keep on trucking, that kind of thing, with just a real crazy psychedelic garlic bread.
Psychedelic garlic bread.
It also made him very sick. Anyway.
Then I'm still taking the listeners on this journey.
Please continue the journey.
I hope you say what it is, and then we're at 1 hour and the podcast is over.
And then when we came here to the zoo. We met you. We saw your beautiful faces. And then Andy presented democracy. And then Ashley's response. Do you want to recreate Ashley's response?
How about you be me?
Okay.
And I'll be Ashley.
Okay.
So, what do you guys want to rebrand today?
I'm thinking, what about democracy?
Huh.
And then Mort, dead silent, covering his face with his fingers so you can't see what he's actually muttering under his breath. And we said,
I think my headphones are I have them turned up higher. I heard, what the fuck? We're doing that?
It's really just because it has been the undercurrent of all of our previous episodes, and Mort will not join me in my bloodlust for billionaires. That's really the only reason.
For me, it's because I've swung heavy right, and I don't think it needs rebranding.
That's true. Yeah, he's gone MAGA. I don't know if I told you guys that. He's full.
Oh, you didn't tell
Mort,
us
is it
that.
working for you? Are you getting more money?
They're so funny.
But is it monetarily working for you? Like, are you cashing in? Like,
weirdly,
almost.
No. I don't know. I'm.
You're not doing it right.
I sunk a ton into crypto, but it was when it was real. You know, they say buy low, sell high, but I'm trying to switch.
No. You can't be the one. You have to make the crypto.
Right. You have to have a currency.
You have to get
Burk
Burk bucks. You get them to invest, and then you pump and dump.
Yeah. That is good. I want to do an NFT, which is a portrait of me, naked, but I'm sort of looking flirty over my shoulder. You know what I mean?
Right. What if your penis and balls is a bored ape?
A bored ape. Okay.
But in like Oakley's and with a mullet, you know, like cool.
Yeah. Okay. It could be any kind of bored ape you want, right?
Yeah.
And it's and you're spitting slurp juice in its face.
Okay, now to get us back on task, listener, I'm so sorry. Yes, I did.
You get these two rascals on a podcast together, and all of a sudden you're talking about
put your finger down,
slurping your bored ape penis. Yeah.
I point out our 15-year anniversary is this week.
Are you overwhelmed by the romance, Naomi?
I'm overwhelmed by the choices I've made in my life. Okay. He's delighted. You hear that? Delighted.
Well, that is the official medal of a 15-year as a bored ape. It goes from wood to.
Yeah, it's time for you guys to make your own crypto to celebrate your love.
That's true. Right. And then when we were just sitting here chatting, Ashley brought up an anime that was bad. And then
how dare you? Oh! Absolutely. Naomi Ekperigin, I've never been mad at you in my life, and it starts today, recorded for all of the world to hear.
Oh my God, I'm in the doghouse. Do you know what you got to do to get Ashley Birch mad at you? One of the nicest bitches in these streets.
Yo, as a producer, this is great for the listens, you guys. Keep it up.
I just want to point out that anime, cartoons, can be anything, right? Fantasy lands, it can be sci-fi, and what Ashley was trying to tell us about was one where they do poetry.
You guys are going to eat your fucking words when the listeners, I was talking about the celebrated anime Chihaya Furu, and if you know, you know, and people are go into their comments I want you to.
Don't you
attack
dox
them
me.
about
Don't you
this.
come after me about this, okay? Okay, I'll tell you. My preferred anime category is high school for blank. So at first I thought card game maybe, but then when you said poems, I said too soft. It's giving
They're in
Fruits
high school,
Basket.
though. They're in high school.
I know, but it might be too gentle.
What was that crazy gambling one?
Kakegurui.
Yes.
Okay, I like high school for something insane where the students have either like intense powers or there's something going on. Like honestly, the intro to anime for me was this show on Netflix called Kakegurui. And it was about a high school for gamblers. Like the kids gamble everything. And it's like however much money you win is like kind of where you are social, like where your status is, you know, and like you can like lose and then you're like, it's like you lost and now you're my dog, which is basically like you're the student's bitch for however long.
A vision of America's future in education.
That's true.
That's true. There are no teachers in Kakegurui, yet the kids have time to gamble till all hours. And some of them are masochists. Some of them are sadists, and you just think to yourself, it's high school.
Sponsored by FanDuel.
Sponsored by FanDuel.
I like, in America, since we're turning everybody into gambling addicts, especially our children, I hope they turn into like 1930s gambling addicts, you know, or it's like little kids with like long filthy trench coats and like,
big hats with a feather in them.
Yeah, exactly. Press hats for some reason and brown bags full of the brownest liquors. Yeah.
I do want to ask because Mort, I think, is the only person in this foursome that you've watched like 2 animes in your entire life, so I kind of want you to establish what you think the current brand of anime is.
This is great. Well, as a cool jock, I do find that it's a little bit on the nerdy side. Wow. But I do know that actually to have watched anime take off in popularity among all sections of the American landscape, really, in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like the only people who aren't watching anime at this point are probably pretty uncool, actually.
Interesting. I think it's still pretty niche.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a secret thing. Like video games still seems niche to people, but actually everyone plays video games. Maybe it's the same thing with anime.
That's kind of what I feel like. Or I'm just surprised where it's like, you know, I don't know. Open Mike Eagle likes anime, you know, like your cool indie rappers and shit. You know, once the indie rappers start doing it,
well, you know when it really got when I said, I can be honest. Megan Thee Stallion dressed as Todoroki on the cover of like a magazine,
right?
And it was like, who was that for? But the real ones, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't for a an anime or gaming or any kind of magazine. It was like, I forget what the magazine was, but just like some magazine about like Megan Thee Stallion, and she was like, this is just how I would like to dress.
This is Megan Thee Stallion Monthly.
It was Megan Thee Stallion Monthly.
I thought it was a quarterly, but yeah, I do love that.
Well, they've had to go to quarterly now.
Yeah, because it's such
the publishing industry is really going through some tough.
Well,
things.
And Megan, she's given us all permission to be more of who we are in so many ways.
She also dressed up as Sailor Moon, and that awakened something inside of me, long dormant.
Sure,
seeing her dressed as Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Do you cosplay, Ashley?
I've never cosplayed. That's not true. I did a very, very, very bad cosplay of a character from a farming sim when I was in my 20s, which is maybe the hottest sentence anyone's ever said.
That's the opposite of sex.
How dare you? She was the hottest girl in the town that she lived in. So.
She was? Oh, you okay?
I don't know, actually, I can't remember who I cosplayed. I think it was.
Mort said, I don't know.
No, I cosplayed from that same farming sim too. I was a bale of hay.
Right. Well, I mean, I will say this because I thought anime was, to me, it wasn't just nerdy, but distinctly, I was like, it's for children. Like I was like, I should not. To be watching this is inappropriate in some capacity. However, then when I started watching it, I was like, wait, like the thing I will actually scream the most when I'm watching anime, I go, is this supposed to be for children? Because one, I still don't understand why the breasts are out. Breasts are out in anime in a way that I go, but she's supposed, again, because I like high school for blank, My Hero Academia is my shit. Right. I'm now watching Misfit of Demon King Academy, okay? Right. But then I also enjoy a good crime thriller action Jujutsu Kaisen.
Wait, what's the one with the something 7?
Oh, Special 7.
Special 7,
yes, crime. A lot of my favorite anime are one and done, meaning one season and they're over, and it's
12 episodes.
Yeah, it's like hard for me because some of my best, or like, and it's a lot of it like crime detective. We got to go crack some cases, you know?
Special 7 has some of the most amazing lines I've ever seen in an anime.
Yeah.
What's the one where it's like, hey, you pieces of shit around the world?
And the bad guy at some point says, hello, all you pieces of shit around the world.
He's doing like he's like, you know, commandeered all of the like electronics.
Yeah.
So he's like on all the TVs around the world.
Hey, all you pieces of shit around the world. Can you feel my dragon power? That's so funny. That's hysterical. And then I go, this can't be for kids.
Yeah. Well, I have to warn Naomi because sometimes I'll watch one. She's like, how is it? I go, it's okay, but there's a lot of what I'm calling ham.
We call ham.
HAM. Horny anime moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so if the ham content is too high, I'm like, I think it might be too. Yeah.
This is the problem is that I feel like, and this might be an issue. Well, I'm going to ask you this next. What your issue? Why you've never gotten into anime? But for me, I feel like that's 90% of anime. So what are you
watching?
No, I think she's right.
Right? Don't you think it's like so much of it is like harem anime or just like ladies with their boobs bouncing around, and like you have to really sift through a lot of chuffa to get to a decent anime, is my experience.
Yes. Yes.
Do you not feel that way?
No, I think I'm pretty selective about it. So I find that the ones that I watch are pretty low in ham content.
No, same. But I feel like you have to do a lot of digging to get to those.
Well, he stays in one genre, basically. Andy likes an isekai, which is basically someone transported to another world.
It's not just someone transported to another world. It is, hey, what if we had a fantasy world and someone in the quote-unquote real world died and is reincarnated or is transported into this world, and then they had, instead of there being like swords and monsters and stuff, they just spent 10 episodes arguing about grain subsidies. Because that's what...
And you got mad at me for recommending that anime about poems?
That's what all of them are. Yeah. But your poetry one, how many, does it have orcs arguing about how much the toll road should cost? No.
It has the depths of human emotion that you have never experienced in a Western form of media. It has passion and unrequited love and oblique references in the poems to the tension and the conflict of the character. It is a masterpiece.
Nah. Mine is like, what if the power broker had dragons in it? What if Robert Moses had a sword? That is what these isekai things are. They are both simultaneously good and the worst things in the world.
I'm blown away by the extent of the different genres that's like, there's more depth to what you guys just said than all of American cinema. It sounds like you can just be like, I only watch animes where everybody has giant feet. And then there's like thousands of them.
That's correct.
Or something.
So this is my question, honey, is why have you never, is it just lack of exposure? Because I tried to show him Death Note. Because I thought Death Note was like,
yeah,
in terms of like Western storytelling and pacing, it's like the closest maybe. But I think just even like the exaggerated expressions, you were like, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Like people screaming in their interior monologues, you were like, I'm not okay with this.
I've only made the leap, this is kind of maybe ridiculous, but I've only made the leap from children's cartoons to adult animation in a couple of Iron Giant is amazing.
So good.
There's some, like Big Mouth. Like I like some comedies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in general, if my eyes do start to glaze over a little bit, if it's like, although the stuff that you're saying, sure, the bouncing boobs, but also the detective stuff. Like there's stuff that's piquing my interest.
There's some fun dark ones. Like they're literally like, serial killer anime where you're like, and this is where I go. I'll be like, who is this for? Right? Because my impulse is it's a cartoon, but then it'll either be such dark subject matter,
and you'll see someone sliced in half,
lengthwise, right? And I'm like, this can't be for kids. And then I'm constantly being like, what is this air on? If I was in Japan, what is this airing on? Am I watching this on Stars? Am I watching this on their equivalent of Fox? Yeah. Where are we finding this? And so it also got me very interested in sort of the culture and because I'm kind of like, okay, where does this all fit in? And then of course you got to go to the manga to be like, okay, what is this based on? Because what it seems like is everyone's got a manga happening.
Or a light novel.
Then they say, we're going to turn that into an anime. We're going to turn that into something.
Sure.
And so that's why sometimes I think like a lot of my one and dones, it might just be based on a single, like however many issues you need of a manga to make a season of TV. And then they'll be like, we're out of story. Okay, bye. And then they'll just kind of stop.
I had the same question because I, like a true weeaboo, went to Japan for my study abroad.
Oh my God, I love that for you.
It was great. I expected.
She walked Mount Fuji.
I did. I climbed Mount
That's
Fuji.
cool.
I climbed half of Mount Fuji, to be fair. I didn't go all the way from the bottom.
I didn't know that.
Oh no. Now is our marriage gonna break up now?
We gotta have our own couples
damn.
therapy right now.
But I was which is maybe an embarrassing thing to admit. I was surprised that like anime it's not really like a thing in the day-to-day. I feel like my host family never was watching anime. Like
how is there so much of it though?
there's so much of it. I'm like, how do they pay for it? Like what is the business model behind this? Because you go on Crunchyroll and it's staggering.
It's too many. It's too many. And that's the thing, Mort, I almost found it overwhelming. That's why when you're like, well, what do I like? It's like, that's the trouble I have is I'll be like, well, because first of all, I'm going to say something and I don't want Ashley's fans to come for me.
We can cut it out.
I watch dubs. Okay? I'm a dub, not sub girly.
Yeah, both of us.
I know, but I didn't want to
That's
put you on the
really
hook in case
surprising.
you wanted to, because I didn't want you to have to go on that, be attacked the way I know I'll be attacked.
You know what I hear when I say that? I hear a mature adult who knows what they like. That's what
right.
Thank you, Mort. Thank you.
Am I going to watch an actual, no offense to anyone who thinks anime is the height of culture, but I'm not going to watch like Seven Samurai dubbed. I'm not going to watch, a classic movie dubbed. I'm not watching Shogun dubbed. Okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
But
However, I'm watching anime usually to fall asleep. So I'm going to close my eyes at some point because this is the thing. I don't think the storytelling is up to snuff in a lot of cases.
Sure.
Well,
Okay.
you were talking about grain substitute orcs.
Sure.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you this, Mort. Have you tried Freerin?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Free one would be a hard sell for him, I think. But
I don't know. It's about an elf who's functionally immortal, and as she's aged and not really gotten any older, all of her human friends have aged and are dying now. And she's confronting the fact that her friends are dead while she still is relatively young. And it's all about, there's more than that there, but like, I don't know, that's pretty weighty.
If that was a
like
comedy,
that.
I'd watch it in a heartbeat. That sounds pretty great. Here's what I was gonna say: is that in the '90s, I was first familiarized with anime with like Ghost in the Shell and Akira.
Yeah.
Which are kind of masterpieces, right?
Yes.
So I think that's the thing too. In my mind, it still has the weight of like, this is an important film. So it's very much not a fall asleep type thing. So I think I need to restructure my brain around what anime means and what its uses are.
Ashley, who's the guy who did Paranoia Agent and all the like really good films?
Satoshi Kon?
Yeah. You might like that.
Have you
Mark.
seen Satoshi Kon?
I don't think so.
So there's my favorite movie of his is probably Tokyo Godfathers, which the whole premise of that is just that there's three unhoused people that find a baby and they just decide to start taking care of the baby. It's like winter in Japan, and they're just like now going to be caretakers of this abandoned child. That's the whole.
One of them's Tom Selleck. One of them's
Well, and we spent a very interesting night with our friends Chris and Imani, who y'all know, at we were in Big Bear. Where were we?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We were, and Chris had set up. We were glamping, if we're honest.
Which means that I'm fully done up in an evening gown and long
He's in a
acrylic nails.
Victorian dress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your winged eyeliner.
But
Beehive.
had brought basically an entire one-bedroom apartment's worth of materials with him to this glamping site, and so he set up a a sheet with a projector, and we watched The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed that, I think.
That was an amazing experience because that movie is so surreal and strange and beautiful, I thought. And also there was like lightning and the moon was happening also like off the, you know what I'm saying, in the actual sky. So it was, I don't know, it was a really cool, beautiful experience.
I forgot that you enjoyed that one. The problem is that you are starting at the height of what anime is.
Right.
And we're basically asking you to come down into the trash with us and eat the garbage with us.
Which,
Yes.
Look, I love,
We're
like-
raccoons.
Yeah.
We're saying, come here.
You're in the dumpster behind McDonald's going like,
Yes,
up
saying,
in.
this is good.
And you're shoveling caviar into your mouth with a bandit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm also not always in the mood. Is that Miyazaki? Is that it?
Miyazaki.
I'm not always in the mood to watch Miyazaki either.
Sure.
But I get this, that it's like, high calorie, low nutrition content. I'm at Burger King 4 times a week like a little pig.
I will say, in defense of this entire genre, that some of it is high calorie, low nutrition.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would argue that a wonderful show like Chihaya Furu actually has like there's storytelling elements that like Western media just doesn't do. Like, first of all, there's no fucking network on the goddamn North American continent that would make a show about competitive card players in high school. That just would not happen.
Right.
And the interesting thing about that show as well is that they paint all of their characters in like a lot of different colors. But what's interesting is that every time the team that are the main characters goes against another team, they manage to humanize the opposing team very efficiently and very effectively. Then you can kind of get sucked into like, oh, these 5 people on this team I've never seen before. They managed to give me like 2 little flashback scenes. I get all of them and their dynamics. And I also now kind of like them. So there's more tension in this match because I'm rooting for my crew who I've been with the whole show, but now I also get what this other team is. So it's just like very dense storytelling done very efficiently. And then 2 episodes later, there's a guy that like keeps talking about how he wants to squeeze his coach's boobs. So it's like,
high low. And that's what we love.
And my guess is that you also like it because it treats gaming with a level of respect and reverence.
Oh my God, like it's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is the thing is like, I think it's like my introduction to it, again, as a grown ass adult, and also watching it, I think it's also coincided with moving to LA, where I feel like my life has gotten a lot smaller than it was in New York. And there's something about anime to me, because it is so surreal and so kind of nuts. It gives me that feeling of like, what the fuck am I watching? In a way that's exciting. It makes me feel like I'm transported a little bit. It makes me feel like I'm having a little bit of an experience. Like, I feel like Kakegurui, I was like, oh, I feel high. Because I was like,
there's a lot
happening?
of those. There's a lot of those. There is Dan to Dan. There is, what are the other like kind of crazier ones that we watch that kind of puts you in a different headspace?
Yeah.
And now I've never done psychedelic. I've never done anything. I've never even smoked pot. So I don't know what drugs are actually like. Although I have taken an Advil PM on occasion, so I have experimented.
I remember you immediately sold your television for more.
Yes, and then I was able to just walk into Target and buy 300 bottles. But there are certain ones that are kind of psychedelic in a certain sense.
Yeah.
That put you in a different headspace.
Yeah.
And it's from an inherently, like a foundationally different culture. So even like assumed storytelling aspects or even assumed part of being a human being are entirely separate. That's why that's why video games are so hilarious. That's, you know what I mean? That's why like Rainbow Road makes so much sense in Japan, but out here it just seems like this
Rainbow
guy's
Road?
overdose, or that's like a level on Mario Kart or whatever. But it feels like a man who's overdosing on mushrooms. And it's really fun to watch and exist in.
I've got a list here.
Yeah.
Here's the craziest anime. Kill la Kill, which is about a race of sentient clothes that take over the earth. Doro
like shirts and
Hedoro.
pants we're talking?
Just outfits, period.
Outfits, full outfit.
Doro Hedoro.
Oh, that's fun.
Undead Unluck. Dan to Dan. And then what was the one about the wrestler who gets isekai'd and then wants to start a pet store?
Kimono Michi, Rise Up. And he was fully a wrestler. He gets sent to another world. He really is obsessed with animals. He like wanted to open a pet store. That was his dream. And then somehow he is transferred to another land. Like, that's what's fun. It's like when you're describing an anime, someone's like, oh, you're mentally ill. And that's fun when you describe certain stories where you're like, for instance, Doro Hedoro. This man wake up, he don't remember who he is, but he got the head of a crocodile. He's trying to figure out where the hell his actual head is and who he really was. And then there's a character named Ebisu who just wears a whole skeleton face and just like jumps around and giggles. And you're like, girl, what you doing? And it is like, but this is like a logic to this world. And again, Doro Hedoro, it's a one and done. One of my favorite shows. And it was 1 season. And
There might be a second season. I'm holding out hope.
That's the thing with anime, because you may be waiting 3-4 years for a second season sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is it? Severance? What is it? Severance?
What are we talking? Severance here?
Severance?
This made me think of a proper rebrand pitch for anime, which is that anime stays the same, but a la Terrace House, where periodically throughout the show cuts away to a group of comedians that talk about what they just watched. You do that with anime, but you cut away and it's just Naomi describing what she just saw.
Yo, can it be a green screen where it's 6 Naomis? Because Naomi contains multitudes, so I feel like we need like sassy Naomi. We need like encyclopedic knowledge of anime Naomi, which I did not realize was a thing until just now. You have like a PhD level understanding.
Oh, honey, I paid for Crunchyroll. Okay, and at one point I was paying for both Crunchyroll and Funimation. Thank God they're together now. Okay, because I was spending.
That's the only merger that we accept. Okay,
Yeah.
all other corporate monopolies are terrible, but if you can put all the anime in one place, we're happy.
Yeah. That's good for me. And I don't know, it's real, like, it's like my escapist stuff. And part of why I do my dub is because it is for that reason, because I am particularly watching it for this sense of like removal from now and like relax.
Wait, why do you want to be removed from America? What's happening currently in America where you're like, I feel like I have to escape this?
Yeah, I have to go to a
Meanwhile, there's armed police directly outside your window right now.
They're an interracial couple, get them!
Your love is illegal. Ha ha ha. What a nightmare. Yes. Okay, so let me ask you this, Naomi. When Ashley said internal monologue, I did see myself seeing that and being unable to accept it as a device, as an American television watcher. When you're watching that stuff, is it part of you that goes like, this is pretty funny? Or like, how do you accept these like very strange stuff that to me...
They're cartoons. Let it all go. They're not real people. That's where you're having fun.
No, also, like, American TV has full of, like, people saying exposition all the time.
That's true. When you're watching shows, like, especially, like, a show where it's, like, what is the show? I mean, what is it? Gossip Girl always had that voiceover. Like, there's shows where it's, like, we're going to do voiceover to bridge the gap.
Oh, yeah. But it's even worse. Like, that's bad enough. But there's, like, plenty of, like... procedurals where they're just saying what they're feeling and what they're thinking.
Yeah, I don't watch that shit.
Watch a procedural. Exactly. I think Mort's not watching a procedural. He's not having it.
I don't watch that. And if their mouth is moving, it makes it easier. Like if they're just staring and their voice is going, I feel silly.
Hey, speaking of American TV writing, Ashley, you were in the writer's room for Mythic Quest Season 4, correct?
Do you have a grievance?
Yeah, naming the character that Carol sleeps with, Andy. What's that about?
I said he was already Andy, but for that to be the choice.
His actual name, the actor's actual name is Andy. Is Andrew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
what's your name on the show? Is it Ashley?
I was pitching that character had a podcast where he interviewed people about the beginning of their artful career journeys.
I do remember it being discussed in the room, and I remember Megan saying something like, I hope this doesn't upset Andy.
It doesn't really, but I think it's funny. I think it's funny to be like,
yeah, it was like, it was so funny when we were shooting and going beforehand where I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have an intimacy coordinator for the scene or whatever, and Andy's like, who is this? With who will you be coordinating intimacy?
Look, have I threatened that actor over Instagram direct message? X, the Everything app, direct message.
The Everything app.
Blue Sky, direct message. Reddit, subreddits.
He hasn't responded to any of it.
Right. Are you hunting him actively right now? Right.
I mean, what do you think? Like Craven the Hunter? Sure. But like.
You've got an opposite ring cam set up in his house so you can watch him from the front door. Also,
that is the brand. Opposite ring cam is the name of the brand.
That's pretty good, actually, for stalkers only. This will piss you off too, Andy. He's a groundling, so he's also a sketch guy. You guys might have to have a sketch off, maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sketch off.
Competitive for the love of Naomi.
The love of me. Actually, there's no way to win that and win me at the same time.
Yeah.
You're still trying currently, 15 years in?
Yeah.
The other Andy.
Andrew Friedman. We met him in real life as we were out, like when we were shooting, we went out to see,
Tiggs.
Yeah, Tig was doing a screening. And we saw Andrew Friedman there with his wife and I think his child. And I was like,
his wife shot daggers at Naomi.
wife was like, who are you? I could care less. Okay. And then Andy Beckerman.
Strumpet you've been talking about.
Strumpet. Oh, that's such a good word. We need to bring back strumpet.
Strumpet and harlot, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, considering we're slowly working our way back into 1873, I think
That's
those
true.
words
It's on
will
its way
be
back.
coming back in style. Dysentery is back.
Yeah.
Tuberculosis is back.
Yeah.
I'm assured that Victorian era slang will soon be back.
That'll make it all worth it.
I like saying young chippy. I describe like whenever someone, because to me, young chippy, it's like not derogatory, but it does comment on someone's like cuteness. Do you know what I mean?
I've never heard young chippy.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
I love young chippy. And it's just like when someone's like young and hip and hot, you know, and like just like look at that little, I was like, ooh, look at that young chippy, or how I'm like very upset that Kurt Vonnegut left his first wife for a young chippy.
Oh.
You know, and so it's just like he got some young chippy. You know, it's just general.
Rebrand Kurt Vonnegut. His real life, not his books. His books are great.
He's a piece of shit.
He was? I didn't know that he left. I love Kurt Vonnegut. I didn't know he left his wife for a young girl.
Yeah, don't watch that documentary. Okay, because that bitch out here.
He was a piece of shit?
Yeah.
In my mind.
They
In
keep
my
blaming
mind.
Dresden. They're like, oh, all the firebombing and all that stuff. I guess that now he has to ditch his wife for like a 25-year-old.
He has no
After
choice.
Slaughterhouse-Five popped off, okay, so it was like, because he didn't do anything technically bad, like, right? Like, we don't have, like, there's no scandal underneath, but the reason why I think he's a piece of shit. So they had, like, 5 kids, I want to say. And then his sister passed away, and they took in her 2 children. So that's now 7, okay? That's now fully too many kids.
Yes.
And his wife has to raise all these damn kids, okay? And Kurt Vonnegut, you know what he's doing, because he did have a job, and then when he wasn't working, he was writing his books, right?
Or working on his afro.
Or working on his afro.
Yeah,
he would lock himself away in a room and just be like, I'm typing, I'm working. Meanwhile, this lady, she got to wrangle 7 goddamn kids, okay? She got to take care of everything. Like, he would literally, and like you see in the documentary, his kids talking about where it's like, he wouldn't talk to us, we wouldn't see him, like he was deep in, you know what I mean? Like he was absent, okay? Absent. And she said, I'm gonna hold it down, I'm gonna raise all these damn kids by my damn self. And then Slaughterhouse-Five come out. Slaughterhouse-Five hop off. Who does he leave? The woman who made it possible.
Who had her own literary dreams and quashed them in order to support him.
And then left her for a young chippy. I said, bitch, if you don't die. Okay? There's nothing I hate more than when that happened.
40 years later, he did.
40 years later, he did. He had a nice run. And I don't appreciate that.
It's really funny to have that much vitriol and venom and then to say the phrase young chippy.
Well, because I don't know her and it's not her fault.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? She a young chippy, but see her being a young chippy, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes.
That's a younger little woman who just came in there. He a successful author. She raised all them kids by herself and he would be in a damn closet typing.
Is there something about the artistic process that can't help but turn you into a monster? That's a fun question I think we just start asking ourselves.
Well,
in a capitalist society, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think in general.
But I also think monster, inward or outward monster, right? Like, I'm a monster, but I'm not abusive, right? Like, my monstrosity is turned inward. You know, like, there's a lot of laundry that's not done.
Right.
And, like, you know,
laundry.
Well, that's outward.
That's outward. You're right. That's outward.
Oh,
That's
you mean
outward
literal
monstrosity.
laundry?
Literal laundry. Oh,
I thought you
not
meant,
metaphorical dirty laundry.
Literal overflowing in our bedroom over there.
I got one job, Mort. I got one job in this house, babe.
Yeah, well, I don't know. How many people are out here being one of the best living fucking comedians like Andy and Naomi Ekperigin Beckerman? That's my.
Oh my god, that's
my celeb. I've made your celeb nickname
just both of your
just
names
way longer
together.
Mm-hmm. You're adding up my middle name. You're like creating extra names for Naomi.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, for a variety of reasons in a capitalistic society, it's so fucking hard because art is so profoundly undervalued. They just want to exploit it because of capitalism. That's why AI and all that shit, they don't actually care about us. They want us to be fucking wageless servants, you know?
Yeah.
Which is very confusing to me because I'm like, who then buys the products, y'all? Like if none of us, if we're all out of,
they're not thinking ahead. They are not. They are think that we are in the era of private equity where they are just ripping the copper wires out of the walls. They don't care who's going to buy the thing because they're getting the little sacks of cash with the dollar signs on it, and they're fucking off to New Zealand or wherever.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, you guys deal with the collapse of the economy. We're living our little bunkers. They do not care. They're not looking more than 5 seconds ahead. They are goldfish. They are the goldfish of the economy. Okay. They do not care.
Well, I think they're addicts. I really think capitalism perfectly results in addiction. That's why, like, the algorithm is perfect for capitalism. That's why we're now.
What algorithm, Mort?
Oh, Lord, he's yelling.
I don't mean to go. Hey, call me Dennis Miller. I don't mean to go off on a rant. All right, but and that's a reference everyone will get.
Yeah, and you better reference Sammy Davis Jr. in this.
Start the clock. I got a new rule. Okay.
Sick.
I 100% forgot what you were just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I said the word algorithm.
An algorithm.
Sense. Yeah.
We all talk about how great the algorithm is.
When he loses
that's what I was saying.
Don't
How
help
great
him find it.
Yeah.
When he loses it, don't help him find it more.
How does Netflix have data on how long have I been watching television through them for over a decade at least, and yet they still are recommending trash I would never watch in a million years. The algorithm is a lie, folks. I'm telling you.
Well, but here's the thing. You've already purchased Netflix, right? So they don't give a fuck if you're happy with it at this point. Whereas the algorithm for Instagram is somehow recommending T-shirts that you don't even know you want until you see it, right?
Yes.
So I think it depends on how they're utilizing the algorithm to exploit if it's necessary.
I will say, there's a person that I was just working with whose algorithm doesn't work for him, but in a really delightful way, which is that it keeps sending him videos, AI-generated videos of video game and cartoon characters kneeling in front of Jesus.
Okay. I've seen a couple of those.
So I just want to say, I don't condone any use of AI except in this very specific circumstance. He showed me one, and it was the Lady Smurf kneeling in front of Jesus.
Smurfette.
Smurfette. Yeah.
I saw one. My favorite, it was like the cast, meaning each individual character from Frozen kneeling before Jesus. And then my favorite was actually the comment. There was a comment that was like, please do Shrek next, I need it. That was so funny to me because the way I just said it to you is as it was written. There was no punctuation, okay? It was all lowercase. There was a desperation there. There was a need. Please do Shrek next, I need it. It was all in one.
Is there a pregnant Sonic bowing before Jesus?
Oh my God, please.
That's my jam.
And it was so like I was like, and people just like, and the people in the comments were just really loving it. And I just thought, there's so many different worlds I know not of.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my God.
Well, and
which bringing us back to anime.
Wow. Okay, Ashley, fine.
Yo, it was your suggestion.
No, I know it's also your show, so do what you want. But I just because Ashley was like, let's stay on track.
We're talking about slop world here. I want to see pregnant purple Spider-Man worshiping God.
And I feel like this is the thing about anime. And I'm looking at Mort because I feel like I'm just in my head trying to rebrand anime so that he'll watch it with me. I feel like any weird instinct or inclination or whatever that you want, and there's probably an anime about it. It's like Rule 32, but an entire show.
Yeah.
So there's probably a skateboarding anime, honey.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
We should start there, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Also, I'm assuming this pregnant Sonic was an immaculate conception, correct? If we're...
Dr. What's his face?
Oh, Robotnik.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it back. Well, okay.
Dr. Robotnik. Dr.
So here's
Robotnik gave him IVF.
Oh God, he gives birth to 11 little Sonics. That's too many for his. All right. In order to rebrand anime for America, I think we take one of the most popular ones and we let Chalamet and The Rock do the voices for the dubbing. Yeah.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? And they get to improvise some stuff. Maybe Vin Diesel's in there. Like, it gets to be about what
It has to be about family then.
Yeah.
Oh, Cars story. Cars and Family. I mean, that's a lot of anime, though, Cars and Family. And I think they can do that. I mean, imagine a My Hero Academia, Timothy Chalamet as Izuku Midoriya. I feel like people would really get on board with that.
You know
People
what I'm saying?
really get on board.
Right? And then maybe we do a PR stunt where we hook up Chalamet with one of the leading young actors or actresses in the anime world, that we ship them publicly.
Oh, interesting.
And then America falls in love with the person who Chalamet's in love with.
Oh, so you're
That's
saying
smart.
manufacture a romantic connection.
Yep, you start
Oh.
with tabloids, right?
But what if he's dating one of the characters? What if he,
Interesting.
the real Timothy Chalamet,
Yep.
is dating a character from an anime, like Ebisu from Dorohedoro?
Yes, or
I love
something, or
that.
someone from like Fruits Basket.
And
The
so-
girl from Fruits Basket.
So they're constantly being like paparazzi are taking pictures of him, but then she gets drawn in there.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
And then
I
the-
was imagining he was bringing like a cardboard standee of her to red carpets.
well, that's
Oh,
in
that
an
could work
emergency.
too.
Yes. Yeah,
That
in
could
an
work too.
emergency, he's got that.
In an emergency.
Right, but
Or like they
What's
can't
a
draw,
hot-
and he just pulls it to the side or whatever.
Wait, we have the technology. There's Hatsune Miku, who's a fake pop star. That you could just like project Tupac,
Yeah.
project her right next to him
Yeah.
at any event
What's-
he goes to.
Yeah.
what's a hot Hollywood restaurant now? Nobu, is that still cool?
I don't know. Let's just say it.
Yeah, so he's at Nobu eating, and then you have the projector of Ebisu or whoever.
Yeah, whoever his character is. Right.
Whatever
Chako
character.
Uraraka
Yep.
across from Timothy Chalamet.
Who
and they're just recognized.
formerly was dating the Tupac hologram, let's say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, or Lord Rimuru the slime from How I Was Reincarnated as a Slime or whatever
The
that is.
slime. So some slime is also a big thing. This whole the genre just slime.
They love slimes.
And it's like, I don't know, but like the slimes don't talk, the slimes do stuff. More, it's so funny. You're just like, what is
The
happening?
slimes.
It was like, why are you doing? I don't know. I watched one about a little boy. It was called Grace of the Gods. And he was literally just like a man with a sad life who dies, is reincarnated as a young boy, but he has a lot of business acumen. So he's like back in medieval times and he's like, I've opened a laundromat. And I said, good for you.
See,
And that's just gentle.
Well, it sounds to me like a lot of anime stuff is the less simple version of existing hit Hollywood movies. Like that's basically big, but then there's 7 other movies on top of it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like,
Yes.
I just looked up. Also, the titles get really crazy. So this title is "Do You Love Your Mom and Her 2-Hit Multi-Target Attacks?" is the name of an anime. It's the name of an anime, and this is the thing. It is sometimes a thing that you've heard of before, and then sometimes it's "Do You Love Your Mom and Her 2-Hit Multi-Target Attacks?" which is not a thing that has ever existed.
It's
before
never
in history.
existed.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't watched this one, but I saw it on Crunchyroll. Someone gets reincarnated as a vending machine in a fantasy land.
See, no one's doing that shit. No one's doing that shit.
Nah,
No
it's
one's doing that.
hilarious.
It's like, what? It's like, why are you a vending machine? So, quite frankly, I think, it's something we need to say animes for adults, animes for people who would like to get away from it all, animes for people, this is the rebrand, animes for people who want to expand their minds safely.
I think we need to do crossovers. So in the new Matlock, there needs to be an anime character.
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dr. Odyssey.
Yeah. Now, you could do
That's
anime on Dr.
perfect.
Odyssey. That's open
like
water.
almost an anime.
That
I
is
feel like.
almost an anime.
It's
Yes.
anime.
Completely, yeah.
Exactly.
So we start with that. We start with Dr. Odyssey on the ship with Joey from Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek, you did it.
Yeah,
You did
maybe,
it.
Yeah, maybe he's hooking up with like one of the hot busty ladies from the
From an anime?
Yeah, from an anime.
Uh-huh.
Start
That could be
there,
happening.
right?
Yeah.
Then that is the lady who ends up dating Chalamet, right? So it becomes the fictional character who then then they release a sex tape that keeps everybody watching. You know what I'm talking about? And then that's already 4 Golden Globes right there. You know?
Yeah.
Then we're at the award shows.
That's
Yeah.
true. We haven't tried to do a Cool World or Who Framed Roger Rabbit in a long time.
That's true.
It's about time for to bring that back.
an IRL Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's how we get anime.
Which also are also super horny. So is it because generally historically men were the animators that they became so horny?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I would think so, right?
Because it's all the
I-
male gaze, right? From what I can tell.
Yes, but I do still think I'm still so confused as to how I'm like, you're a high school student. Why are her breasts out? Do you know what I mean? Like, if she's a high school student in school,
Right.
her breasts should be covered. They
And
should
when
not
you
be
say-
out.
When you say out,
So low cut is
Got
the
it.
shirt
Yes.
that I am concerned I'm going to see a nipple, but
And
I know it's
exposed décolletage.
exposed décolletage in the school, in the classroom.
try some modesty with your visage.
Exactly.
Their skirts are also very, very short. As a common.
Too much skirt. Too much skirt. But
I'm
But
surprised.
this is not all of them. Okay? Just so we're clear, you can watch one where someone turns into a vending machine.
That's true.
Which sounds like a pitch that is intentionally bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like there's no way to make this fun or exciting. Because what does the vending machine do? Does it hop around and like try to get a job?
This is what you have to find out, and that's what makes you tune in. And then you wonder, who is this for? Who has paid for this?
Yep.
What time does this come on in Japan? You know what I mean? That's what you wonder.
Totally. Yes. I think also another thing we start doing is giving out full-size body pillows of the non-sexual anime characters to children and high school students, and they're allowed to carry them around in school. I think you really get it's the same way the way that Happy Meals work with McDonald's, right? You know what I'm saying? We need to get in there and have some of them associate the magic of childhood with our product.
I thought that you were going to go the other direction that we would have Timothy Chalamet body pillows. Like go the other way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some sort of cross-cultural promotion happening.
You're saying send Chalamet over there to Japan?
No, I'm saying put him on a body pillow. Because you're used to seeing anime ladies on a body pillow. You're not used to seeing Western celebrities on body pillows, you know?
Right.
By the way, I got the pitch for the Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is some guy creates a ray that turns people into anime characters.
Ah.
Yeah.
Some villain. And that's where
nice.
And so Timothy Chalamet's in it, and then he goes, I don't know, but why are we... Look, he's fine. I have no problems with him. But like,
why is he a star? That's why we're doing... He's
our hottest young star.
He's a loser. He didn't win the Oscar.
You wanted to be Adrian Brody? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I'm saying the Home Alone guy's brother. What's his name?
Oh, Kieran.
Culkin did win. He did win. He did.
God, he's fought his whole life to not be called that.
I know, he worked so hard.
Succession, Real Pain. I can name other things, but
Succession Boy.
We'd love to have him on the pod, by the way. If he's listening.
Kieran, reach out.
But he's in it. So he gets turned into an anime character.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I love that.
I like that. And is it like Roger Rabbit where they get turned into they get turned into archetypes of anime. Like he becomes the Krabby Baby. Then there's like, you know what I mean? Then there's like...
Can you list some archetypes you think of anime real quick?
It's mostly Krabby Babies, right?
Yep, keep going.
Okay, then there's a baby who's a little less crabby.
Okay,
Then there's a happy baby.
Okay.
No, I'm just thinking of remember the baby with the cigar.
Yes,
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the scary scientist. I don't know.
Yeah, but if Who Framed Roger Rabbit was kind of an analog discussing how public transportation in Los Angeles was destroyed.
Right.
What social problem is this anime transformation movie tackling
Let's
in the
bring it
same
all the
way?
way back around and make it about the fall of democracy.
Sure.
Yeah,
and they elect the Krabby Baby president of Toonland.
I got it. Okay, so a Doge type thing is like running rampant, destroying the government, right?
Yes.
And there's a cache of these anime guns that were developed in some government warehouse somewhere, kind of like the one in the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they put or also in the Crystal Skull.
Okay.
Same place.
Okay.
I'm a Skull guy. Big fan of the Skull.
That's where you go to. You're like, hey.
Yeah, his
Shia Booth's character
goes the Crystal Skull, Phoebe Waller-Bridge,
Krabby Baby,
Krabby Baby, Raiders of the Lost Ark's at the bottom.
Okay, so they're defunding everything. Suddenly, a bad guy finds out about this warehouse and gets a hold of these anime guns and starts turning people into these anime characters, causing chaos worldwide.
Yep. And the Elon Musk character gets turned into a vending machine.
That's good.
I think it maybe at the end is his punishment.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Or also a big piece of uncooked tofu, because that's what he looks like. And I'm not trying to body shame. I
think you should be allowed to body shame pieces of shit.
Yeah.
It looks like soft tofu.
It looks like his body is having a reaction to the evil that he's perpetrating. Do you know what I mean? Same way like Bannon is melting because his heart is so black.
It's like Dorian Gray without the whole part where the picture's in an attic. It's just happening to him actually in real time.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I love
this idea, Andy.
Yeah, I think that's really strong. I like the anime gun. We can call it a fun gun.
No, it needs to have a more anime name. This
does?
is the thing you have to learn is that everything's named in stupid ways and
Okay.
You know.
So what would be an example of what we call this type of gun? Which was this developed by the CIA? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if CIA or
government technology.
CIA does all these evil things. What about a government agency that doesn't do evil things, like the FBI?
They're fun.
They're pretty chill.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're friends with benefits inside. That's what the CI stands for.
Dude, they're all just hooking up.
They're all hooking up.
What if to build on what Mort said, what if fun stood for something? That was kind of crazy.
That's
an acronym. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fanciful. Animation.
I was like unhumanify or something.
Yes.
It's like
fanciful. Unhuman.
Yeah.
Fanciful, unhumanify invention.
Nebulizer.
Oh, that's
Nebulizer.
You need to start writing anime.
Oh, nebulizer. Why did I think it ended in I?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you forgot how to spell
I
it.
forgot what we were doing. I forgot where we were and who I was. And...
I know.
We were thinking of Hong Kong Phooey, the Hanna-Barbera character.
You know what it was? Is that I thought invention started with an N. That's how boiled my brain is at this point in my life.
Apostrophe invention.
Invention.
Yeah, that's right. When Ashley thinks invention starts with an N, it's time to wrap it up.
It's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's usually...
That's a natural stopping point.
I think we got 2 more hours in us.
That's our version of the word cut.
It is.
It forgets how to spell 3-letter words. Well, this is great. Okay, so I just want to say for this rebrand, I think we do all the tabloid PR stuff that we were talking about. We get the entire media involved. Then we have this movie starring these high A-list celebs, and also your Phoebe Bridgers.
Waller-Bridge.
God damn it. There's no way I could sound older. Do you know what I mean? Is there anything? Okay, yeah. So this movie, I think is our...
Start talking about how ska's the best, and then you sound like you're in your 60s.
Here's these squirrel nut zippers. Yeah, so I think that's really that A-list star film. Let's say Soderbergh directs it.
Oh wow,
interesting.
You know what I mean? Because you get your art crowd that like him, and he can make a pop film like nobody else.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're in. I think I'm calling this a very successful.
What's the name of this movie?
It's called Krabby Baby.
Yes. Yes. I'll see it 10 times.
No. What should we call it?
I mean, if anime is going to lead us anywhere, it should be 17 words long.
Yeah.
And almost
transformed to the demon realm, I became a slime lord. It's like, what? Yep.
That's it. That's the title.
Transformed to the demon realm, I became a slime whore. Yeah. Good. I feel really strong about this. And I don't see a world in which this doesn't, by the way, save democracy also. So I think we're actually...
It was a 2 for 1. Somehow.
We're doing both.
But Annie, if you want to give us a quick democracy rebrand, we're on.
Don't you dare.
A little bonus. A little treat.
This is my rebrand. Okay.
Yep.
This is more about how to save democracy. Now, I think probably saying murdering people is bad. Probably saying it in public unrecorded media is bad. Right. So I'm going to back off of calls for guillotines and things like that. And I'm going to say this. This is more of a rebrand maybe for Epstein's Island. So we take Little St. James, okay? We drop all the billionaires onto because to me, even if you're a, quote, benevolent billionaire, you've done something evil to get that money, okay?
Yes, right.
Yep.
So all billionaires are on this island. We give them food, and maybe even we airdrop in food, right? We mine the harbor, and we take all their technology away. So they get to live, but they are no longer part of civil society.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And therefore, democracy is saved for the rest of us. There's some other stuff in there, implementing socialist kinds of things, the workers running the means of production, all the blah, blah. And anyone who tries to become a billionaire gets airdropped onto this island. Again, no technology, no way off.
Yeah.
Okay. And they get to live out the rest of their lives, and they can have kids. They can do whatever. They can turn into their own society. They can never leave Little St. James.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm picturing like 40 castaways. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like sarongs and giant beards. And I think what's great about this, here's what I say we do with this. We do and we can start it here. We launch a GoFundMe and we just have it publicly funded. So that's also going to do the PR work to get people involved and excited about this idea, which I would describe as inarguably good.
I'm going to say this, we expropriate their money. And that's how we do it. We take the money,
their billions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say all of their billions, all of their ill-gotten gains.
And maybe perhaps give it to the less fortunate, maybe.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe I would dress up in like green with a little like jaunty hat and a bow and arrow and then take their ill-gotten gains.
Okay, it's giving Robin Hood. I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying like with the money, you could dress in green and a jaunty hat.
I'm saying we take their billions and then I use it to create a wardrobe for myself, monochromatic green, okay?
That's a very accomplishable goal, Andy. Without that,
no, it does not require billions.
Maybe I put question marks on the
Oh, great. Oh, great.
And I have a little domino.
This to go.
Yeah, I feel great about this.
Thank you guys so much for doing this silly podcast with us.
And I'm also I forgot you asked me to, and I forgot. I don't know why I'm doing this. I forgot, and you asked me to. I'm going to pitch your podcast, which is so wonderful, and I consider it to be you guys are my podcast mentors. Go please listen to Couples Therapy. It's so strong, so hilarious. Every episode is great.
That's very
true.
true.
Mort and Ashley's episode. You know what I mean? Start with Mort
or Ashley's episode.
Or Mort or Ash. We do double, we do singles.
That's right.
Okay. I still want to come on again. I'm trying to be the most consistent guest on Couples Therapy.
You're trying to be in a throuple is what you're trying to do.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're trying to leave me and marry them.
I mean, look, you can come if you want. It's up to them.
Ashley couldn't take 3 mentally ill people.
Yeah, our whole life is just getting us back on track.
Exactly, shoring us up, constantly telling us it's going to be okay.
We're trying to eat lunch, and I'm outside drowning in a swimming pool, and Andy's dressed like Santa.
Wait, why is that mentally ill?
Where can the people find you, my friends?
Well, visit us on Instagram. I'm at Black Dress Comedy. I know I should change it, but I'm in too deep.
Can you change it at this point?
I don't think so. And that's the only social media I'm using right now, quite frankly. Or Naomi Ekperigin at Blue Sky, but I only Sky once a month or something because I keep forgetting.
Well, it's called Skeeting, Naomi.
Ugh.
I didn't choose it. I'm at Andy Beckerman everywhere.
Everywhere at Andy Beckerman. Everywhere you can find him, okay? And he's out there. He's
on
active.
Rumble, on Truth Social.
Yeah, you're doing your UFC commentaries on Rumble. Yeah.
Where can they find us, honey?
You know, guys, we have a Patreon. It's so much fun. People are blasting off and having lots of fun discussions.
They're blasting off.
Yeah, they're popping right the fuck off. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, so go to the Patreon. You can join our Discord, and we also release ad-free episodes, which you know how ads are so insufferable and fill you with rage. The ad-free episodes, they will help you experience the serenity only known in Buddhist monasteries. So enjoy that. And you can find us at Rebrand the Pod on Instagram.
Also, this very episode, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll get to see our faces. You'll get to see the terror as I realize that I don't know how to spell the word fun. You'll get to see it on my face in real time. I think that's it. We love you guys.
We love you. You're the best. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming, you guys. You're the best. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Rebrand.